The Russian tech tree is a very, very unique one in World of Tanks Blitz. It's got many different ranging factors. At tier 10, you can find vehicles like the T-62A, super high DPM, great mobility. Then over to the IS-4. It's a brunt force beast. That is one of the best tier 10 heavies in the game. But there's one thing you won't find across the entire Russian tech tree, and that is a vehicle pretty much with 10 degrees of gun depression. There was only one vehicle I could find, and that would be the Thunder, a tier 6 collector for the first battle pass in the game. That's pretty dang sad that that was literally the only Russian vehicle I could find in my garage with 10 degrees of gun depression. That's possible I missed one, you know, there could be a tier 1 or 2 with 10, but really, there's no tanks above like tier 6 that I could actually find that had 10 degrees. Now this vehicle, the one we're going to be talking about in today's video, is the ST1, a heavy tank with actually a stupid amount of gun depression, 8 degrees. This is 2 more than your IS-4, and it is a super strong heavy at that. It in fact carries the same gun as the IS-4. Sure, it's got a little bit worse DPM, but overall it's got the same dispersion, and the aiming time's a little bit worse, as you can see here. So it is a less accurate gun, but overall, the tank's actually got good stuff going for it all around. So we're going to see just how the ST1 does in today's video with the 2 replays. You can see I haven't played any other battles on the ST1 today. I just find it better for me if I play the 2 games before I record, because then I'm focusing more on the games and less on the recording. So this is way better for me, you know, if you guys want to see better gameplay. So here we are. The first battle in the ST1 was on Hellas. Now, Hellas is a great map if you're in a hull-down tank like this, because you're able to go into that dip where the water is and use it like a hull-down beast. But that didn't really happen this game, and you'll see why. Now, the nice thing about .344 dispersion is that it's actually not terrible. If you let this thing aim in, it will hit the majority of its shots. Not to mention, this thing carries 374 millimeters of heat pen, the exact same heat penetration that vehicles like the IS-8 carry. So it literally butters right through any armor. Like, that was a Tiger 2, by the way, and that was my standard ammo. Easily cuts right through him. Here we go, aiming at that T-30. Flew not into the hull I was aiming at, but into the turret cheek. You know what? I'm not going to complain. It hit, and it did pen, so yeah, no complaints here. I'm going to push forwards. Hopefully that T-30 doesn't hit me. Thankfully, he bounces off the track wheel. Now, the ST1 has a very troll armor profile. It's just like the IS-4, where the upper plate is very thick. And because this thing has 8 degrees of gun depression, it's honestly just as thick as the IS-4 if you're using that gun depression as well. It does have a very weak lower plate. In fact, it's only about 200 millimeters thick, and you can see right there, the Tiger 2 goes right through it. So while it does have super strong armor, it can be very easily pent, but aiming it on that cube line, boop, thank you very much for your hit points. We're now sitting at 1100 already. Now you'll notice that our team is being very kind of focused by their team. If you'll notice, we're kind of just stuck in the middle of a massive battle, but whoosh, massive shot, max roll, and a fire. Ooh, that's got to feel good. That just gave me about 700 hit points of damage there. And you can see, though, my team's not doing great. We've already lost 2 tier 8s, a T-54 lightweight, and as well a Jagdpanther 2. So I got to be careful here on what I'm doing, because their team is coming very aggressive. That Conway was behind me. I was hoping he wasn't going to shoot me. So you'll notice here, I start to push around the corner, so the C-75 has a harder time shooting me. I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to get hit by this guy. But I noticed my mill's getting clips out, so I'm starting to turn, dealing with the next targets. One thing that is not great about the ST1 is its mobility. This thing is super duper slow. You'll notice that here. Wow, that power to weight is terrible. Yeah, that is one thing you'll really never find amazing on the ST1, is that power to weight ratio. Now this KV4 is stock, which means that if he can't see my lower plate, I'm practically impervious to him. But because I'm sitting at 1700 hit points, still more than him practically at full health, I'm not really worried right now. We're going to get a shot into the Conway. And yeah, sure, this KV4 pulls out and shoots me right in the turret, as you can see. I'm just going to drive right at him. The T-49's on my side as well. And at this point, I'm really thinking, oh boy, what's he going to do to me? And you're going to see that. He literally does like 200 damage. This is the great thing about an ST1. The whole side is pretty much spaced armor, so you can get a lot of bounces on it. And the front, you'll notice the KV4 did go right through my lower plate. As I did say, it is very easy to pen the lower plate on this tank, especially even with a stock KV4 running the 122 with only 226 millimeters of premium pen. Still went right through. Here we are aiming on the booty of that T-49. And there you have it. For the first game, we did 4,628 damage, which is pretty dang respectable. Not only did I do a pretty solid amount of damage, but we almost pulled ourselves out of mastery. We bounced a whole plethora of shells, but at the same time, you can see that we didn't really bounce all of them. It is very easy to pen if you're not hauled down, but this Himmelsdorf game is a perfect example to show the armor when it does do a good job. I guess I really didn't bounce many shells that last game. I thought I did, but no, we only bounced, I think, two. One from the E75 and one from the T30. But other than that, really not a whole bunch of bounces. Now, on Himmelsdorf, I was really hoping that my two E100s were going to go heavier out. If they hadn't have, this probably would have been a very, very different battle. You definitely want to hold heavy in an ST1. As I said, this thing is a beast at doing its job at heavy route. It's practically an IS-4, just a tier lower. So I'm pushing this thing as quickly as I can right into the front line to try and get into a hold down position where I can hold. The gun depression really makes this thing a beast on using that gun depression on these berms here. And there we have it, an FV2 and 5B already. Now, I was trying to think how I'm going to shoot at this guy, and I shot at that FV2 and 5B, not hitting his cupola, though. And you'll notice I instantly was realizing, well, my cupola is on the exposed side of my tank, so I'm not going to sit there because that 2 and 5B is just going to tap through my cupola. So I'm playing this tank so it's situational awareness. Now I'm running this vehicle where the 2 and 5B cannot pen me because I've hidden my cupola on the side that would be good for me. So there you go. One heat shell already buttering right through right through that guy's turret cheek. And with that, now we're going to aim in one more shell. Perfect shell right through the track wheel. Putting on my adrenaline now. We've already taken 800 hit points off that 2 and 5B. He's obviously not enjoying me all too much. And again, I'm just going to load another heat shell, wait for him, and yeet! Perfect shell, another 330. Now he's down 1,100 hit points. I can tell you that 2 and 5B really isn't enjoying my company all too much. And yeah, the C100 is going to tap a shell in as well. We're going to shoot a heat shell. Perfect 450 max roll. Like, you can see that this tank is really just super strong. That gun is able to butter right through vehicles like that IS-7, right through vehicles like this FE2 and 5B. Load that HE, finish him off. There you go. That 2 and 5B literally took nothing off of me. We got the IS-7 in the back. I've lost 0 hit points and dealt 1,700 to 2 tier 10 heavies already. And I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'm going to keep aiming here at this IS-7. I know that my heat is plenty to cut through his turret. So there you go. Now we're at 2,000 hit points worth of damage. Looks like that IS-7 is giving up trying to come for me. So I'm going to give up coming for him. I'll be like, okay, let's go deal with vehicles like the standard B over here. That would be a glorious HE if I could get it out. So turning my vehicle and yeet. There you go. Massive low roll for what it's worth. That was a huge low roll. 500 and I think 40 or 520 is my average HE. And that thing rolled about, yeah, 425. That's probably one of the lowest rolls I could have gotten there. But nonetheless, we're sitting at 2,440 damage here. Going to yeet a shell into that Vickers. Thank you very much for your hit points. Now 2,800, and with that, we're pretty easily going to be racking out 3k here, as you can tell. Now this Foch, he is pushing quite aggressive, and I honestly expected this to pen, but yeah, the shell just said nope and went somewhere out of this world. But thankfully, that Foch is an autoloader, and what that means is even though he did get the bounce from my E100, he will not be getting the bounce from me. There you go, breaking the 3,000 barrier, and now we are doing pretty dang well. Now I realized I could either go for that Foch that E100 is going to get a pretty big shell into, or I could go off to the other side, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I'm going to try and come up to the side of them, maybe get a shell into the Vickers. That E100 is actually doing a pretty good job holding on my team, so I was thinking, alright, I'll push on the side of them here. There's the Vickers, get a nice tracking shot on the back track wheel. Got very lucky there, but he was probably thinking, oh boy, that's not fun on the other side. I'm not going to play with that. So yeah, he probably didn't want to. So we got the Vickers right here. He's dead though. And with that, really, I made up in my mind. I was like, well, I'm going to go for this Foch. I wanted to get the HE in the Foch before he ran away, but sadly, he was just able to get behind my E100. But that's not going to stop me from getting a shell into him. I'm going to aim right on him. Here we go. Load that heat. Again, the heat pretty much negates all armor on this vehicle. Just stab that Tukey in. Yeet. There goes all the armor. So, there you have it, folks. 4,100 damage again in the ST1. A very strong take at that. It's able to do its job on pretty much any terrain. It's got great hold-down capabilities. It's got decent mobility, great armor, and as well a fantastic gun and another first class. So, as you can see, I actually think the ST1 is a fantastic Tier 9 heavy. This is a great tank to grind if you wanted to get the IS-4, but I would highly suggest to save up free experience to get the turret for the ST1, and as well the gun, because yeah, this gun here is possibly the worst gun you will ever play stock. So, hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video. If you wanted to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!